Mm-hmm. Hey, how's it going there, officer? What's
How
your
you
name?
doing?
What's your name and your badge number?
Officer Bush, 4680.
Thank you so much for being professional. What's your name and badge number, sir?
Officer Hines, 04918.
Thank you so much for being professional.
I asked the young man if he needed anything when I realized that he was reporting my customers, and I'm like, I don't appreciate that. If it's anything there to help you with, go ahead and let me know what you need. And he just continued recording.
Mhm.
And the young lady that was sitting over here in line in queue, she was getting uncomfortable, when the
Sure.
customer.
Totally
That's not
understandable.
okay. It's not appropriate. So please give me the property.
Okay.
Since you are not conducting any postal business.
Mhm.
So he refused to do so.
Okay.
I
Well,
felt the need for you guys to come on by.
sounds like you need to leave the property or we're going to take you to jail.
Well, come over here. Over here.
So you guys
Okay. Watch this. Over here. This is.
Are you willing to press charges?
Listen.
If it is illegal.
Yes, sir.
Check this out.
Excellent.
We,
All right.
we can't have
Can we get a supervisor? Can we
We
get?
can talk outside.
No, right here. Listen. No. This is poster 7. This is the rules and
But she
regulations.
said you're not conducting any postal business.
Listen to me, sir.
Okay, let's talk outside.
But this is the rule.
Come on.
Alright, lock in, because what you're about to witness is one of the most extreme examples of unchecked police ego you'll ever see. This story starts with a completely lawful act, filming in a public space, but spirals fast when an officer refuses to respect the very laws he's sworn to enforce. Watch carefully as a desperate power play unfolds, lines are crossed, and a civilian is physically confronted for nothing more than holding a camera. The situation only gets more revealing when a supervising sergeant arrives and decisively shuts it all down, exposing just how wrong this encounter went. Stay to the end, because accountability finally shows up, and it's brutal. Before we dive in, hit that like button, drop your thoughts in the comments, and help spread awareness, because rights only matter when people are willing to defend them and call out misconduct every single time it appears.
There you go.
Listen,
What
look
is
at
your
this.
vehicle?
Look at this. That's the rules and regulations saying I can't read, sir. You didn't just
But
get
you're not.
I was just
you're
trying
not
to show you.
conducting
I did. I asked her for a passport. I left and gave the lady her own personal space.
That's not what
You
you
just
told
grabbed my arm. I
Yes,
got
sir.
everything on camera.
Uh-huh.
Can we
Yes,
get a
so do I.
supervisor? Can we get a supervisor out here, please?
Well,
Please.
you need to leave.
This is public property.
No,
That's
it
a
is not.
lobby.
No, it is not. This is a private business.
Actually a private
Li-
entity.
li-
I know it says United States Postal Service, but it's actually a private entity.
You were told to leave. You did not leave.
Listen real quick,
Are
sir.
you refusing to leave now?
I'll under threat of arrest, I'll leave. But listen,
Okay, good.
But
Go.
listen, there's a poster 7 in there that says I have the. Just go look, sir. Can you please go look?
But here's the one thing I do know. I understand if this is a government building. I understand if this is a police station. I understand all that on a government building. Yes.
And one more thing, sir. You know, right now I'm doing a protected activity,
No, but-
First Amendment,
no,
freedom of the press.
this-
This is freedom of the
You've been
press.
told to leave. You refuse to leave.
That was our first time ever saying to leave, sir. I got everything
But
on
the United-
camera.
Right, but the United States Postal Service actually is a private entity. It's not. I understand it says government, United States Postal Service, but it's actually a private entity.
Okay.
So it's not like
Now watch closely, because this is where the tone flips. The encounter starts off calm, with the cameraman politely asking for names and badge numbers, nothing confrontational, nothing unlawful. That changes fast when a postal employee jumps in, treating being recorded like a personal attack and demanding he leave despite no rule being violated. Without checking posted policies or verifying the facts, the officer immediately takes her side, discarding neutrality and jumping straight to threats. No explanation, no legal basis, just a blunt ultimatum: leave or face consequences. In that instant, the interaction stops being about rules and becomes about forceful compliance, and it's clear the officer has chosen pressure over professionalism, setting himself on a path that will unravel everything that follows.
Officer, please, I'm gonna go stand on the sidewalk,
we've got a supervisor in the room.
and I'm gonna go stand on the sidewalk because you did tell me to leave. But when I go stand on the sidewalk, can you please? That's the rules and regulations of postal property. There's a section for photos and photography. Can you please read that? It says I can take it in the foyer, lobbies, entrances.
Okay.
It's right there. I'm gonna go stand there. We're gonna wait on your supervisor,
Okay.
and they're gonna let you guys know. Wow, man, you put your hands on me. That's an assault, man. If I haven't committed a crime, you can't walk me out. You can't put your hands on nobody. Ooh, buddy. Ooh, buddy. How you doing, sir? You sergeant?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sergeant Turner, how may I help you?
Hey, can I get your name and badge number of post just for the record?
My name? I just told you. My name
I
is
couldn't hear with the
I'm
wind.
Sergeant Turner. My badge number 4944
Yeah.
serial number.
Yes, sir. I came in here today just to kind of get some public information. I know I have every right to record in here. It's actually have a poster 7 in there with the rules and regulations on poster property, saying that photos and photography may be taken in the lobbies, foyers, and corridors. Clear as day. Right when I walk.
This is where it boils over. The officer ramps things up fast, moving with purpose but zero verification, physically intervening instead of checking the rules, and flat out refusing to acknowledge Poster 7, the federal guidance that clearly allows photography in public lobbies, foyers, and entrances. The cameraman calmly explains his First Amendment protections, even offering to leave if lawfully required, but facts don't slow the officer down. Misinformation keeps pouring out, capped by the absurd claim that the USPS is a private business, exposing a complete misunderstanding of government property versus private space. This is what happens when confidence replaces competence, when authority stops listening, ignores written policy, and lets ego drive the encounter straight into chaos.
The issue. She said, "Hey, what are you doing here?" I said, "I'm just recording." She's like, "Well, you can't record here. You can't record my customers." She said, "This lady do not want to be recorded." The lady didn't even say nothing yet. But I even left the building just to give the lady her privacy, which I really don't even have. I didn't have to do that. Anything I see in public, I can record. That was just a little lobby. I wasn't going to be in there that long. Look how little it is. There's nothing in there. But I did ask them for a passport. They let me know I have to go to another building. I couldn't even get public information to ask them. I'm just documenting as I'm handling my business. These gentlemen, I forget his name, but he actually grabbed me and pulled me out the office. Not even letting me show him the rules and regulations on postal property. This is a First Amendment protected activity. You cannot turn that into a crime. You and the postal people took an oath to uphold the Constitution. And you pulled me out the building, sir, when I'm telling you I have the right to do so.
You weren't leaving when you told me.
I don't have to leave. They can't make me leave just because I got a black shirt on. I have to commit a crime for you to make me leave this property.
They ask you to leave.
They can't just ask me to leave. No, it's not. That's not trespass work, sir. If I'm at the police department, you can't just say, "Hey, leave."
Listen up, because this is where it goes completely off the rails. The cameraman stays composed and clearly explains that he's engaged in protected First Amendment activity, documenting matters of public interest without interfering with anyone. He points out that he asked a simple question about a passport, stepped back to respect personal space, and caused no disruption whatsoever. But none of that registers. The officer ignores the facts and keeps repeating the claim that the cameraman is refusing to leave, even though that demand was never clearly made until that moment. All it would have taken was a few steps inside to read the posted rules himself, but instead, the officer digs in, rejecting reality and doubling down on the false idea that filming in public is unlawful. At this point, the issue isn't confusion, it's refusal, and his unwillingness to acknowledge the law is now fully exposed on camera for everyone to see.
It's some type of crime.
Or if you're causing the disturbance,
I didn't
making
cause
people feel uncomfortable.
I didn't.
That's another
Come on,
other
sorry.
situation.
Come on, sorry now. I'm not making nobody uncomfortable by recording. You can't turn protected activity
No, on that,
into a crime.
You're absolutely right. You can record anybody you want,
And I didn't
you're
say
not
nothing.
interfering with anybody's
I'm not
work or anything like that.
They came out to me.
Okay, all right.
It's a little lobby, sorry. Once you walk in there, you see it's little. It's nothing too much you can do or say. I just had a couple questions.
Okay.
I was in there 20 seconds and the lady ran out to me. 20 seconds.
You got that on your phone?
I got that. See, the lady was outside. She was outside getting something out somebody's car. So when I walked in, she came in right behind me and was like, "Hey, what are you doing? You can't record." So, and what's your name again? Your name and badge number?
Officer Bush. What's your signature?
Bush put his hands on me and pulled me out the office.
Yes, it did. Because you
They wanted you to leave, but I'm going to go talk. I haven't talked to the manager. So I'm gonna go
Okay. And you gotta let him know, just because they want me to leave minus a crime, that you can't do that.
Trespassing is a crime.
Trespassing is a crime, but I wasn't trespassing. You gotta commit a crime first. You gotta commit a crime first, sir.
Now pay close attention, because the moment the sergeant steps in, the entire atmosphere shifts. The cameraman stays respectful, asks for identification, and calmly lays out the facts from start to finish, posted rules, the clear right to record, and the unnecessary physical contact that never should have happened. Unlike before, the sergeant listens, measured and controlled, but still leans on the idea of discomfort, as if personal feelings can outweigh constitutional protections. The cameraman dismantles that argument cleanly, explaining he wasn't obstructing business, causing disruption, or interfering with anyone. He was simply documenting from a lawful space. The exchange becomes a quiet clash between knowledge and rank, And in that moment, authority starts to show its fractures, because when the law is clearly understood, power without legal footing can only bend before it breaks.
25 years, and you ain't got that. Was you able to see poster 7?
Say again?
Was you able to see the rules and regulations on the wall?
Did you also see the rules about disorderly conduct and if you're impeding customers doing
I didn't
business?
say nothing to nobody, sir. Right when I walked in, the lady she came outside. So right when I came in, she came right behind me. I didn't even know who she was. She just started talking to me. She could have been a customer. I don't know. Once I noticed that the lady was really just uncomfortable, I went outside so she could handle her business. And then just came back and I only hung around because they said they was calling you guys.
Right now you're on sidewalk anyway. You're on public property. And here's the deal. In that foyer is public property. You're correct about that. But the issue is when you're making customers uncomfortable, that's prohibited act, which is on that rules and regulations. If you're impeding any business, any customers doing business, that's a prohibited act. That's on that rules and regulations.
This is a First Amendment protected activity. You cannot turn a First Amendment protected activity into a crime. That's public property. I'm not saying nothing. I can record.
Listen up, because this is where it goes completely off the rails. The cameraman stays composed and clearly explains that he's engaged in protected First Amendment activity, documenting matters of public interest without interfering with anyone. He points out that he asked a simple question about a passport, stepped back to respect personal space, and caused no disruption whatsoever. But none of that registers. The officer ignores the facts and keeps repeating the claim that the cameraman is refusing to leave, even though that demand was never clearly made until that moment. All it would have taken was a few steps inside to read the posted rules himself, but instead, the officer digs in, rejecting reality and doubling down on the false idea that filming in public is unlawful. At this point, the issue isn't confusion, it's refusal, and his unwillingness to acknowledge the law is now fully exposed on camera for everyone to see.
Don't overrule my constitutional right. So if you're uncomfortable with me recording you and we're in public, you go to Disneyland with Disneyland with your kids and you about to take a picture. You gonna make everybody behind you sign a waiver? They uncomfortable being on your.
Let me read the actual word.
Come on, Sergeant. Come on, get them. This is public. This is public property.
It is a public building, but if you're making people uncomfortable, I'll read this to you so you can get it all on your disorderly conduct.
I'm not impeding
it. Creates loud or unusual noise, or which impedes entrance or departure to post offices, or otherwise obstructs the usual use of.
I didn't do none of that.
Foyers, corridors,
I didn't do none of that.
Elevators, stairways, parking lots, or which otherwise tend to impede or disturb the public.
I didn't do none of that.
You just said in your own words that you made that gal uncomfortable.
I didn't do none of that.
Which is their right to do, in order to ensure that the post office operates as well as it can. Now you're out here, you can record all you want. We can't keep you from going back in there now once we leave. But again, if you continue to do the acts that make people uncomfortable, make the workers and make the public in general uncomfortable when they go in there.
Alright, strap in, because this is where the truth takes center stage. The cameraman lays it out plainly. Public photography doesn't turn illegal just because someone feels uneasy, and personal discomfort will never override federal law. He drives the point home with a simple comparison. Being captured in the background of a photo doesn't require permission, just like it wouldn't at a theme park or any other public place. As the sergeant reads the posted rules aloud, referencing disorderly conduct and impeding operations, the facts refuse to bend. None of those standards apply here. The cameraman wasn't loud, wasn't obstructing, and wasn't causing any disruption. Even the sergeant ultimately acknowledges the foyer is a public area and that recording is permitted. And in the background, the officer who escalated the situation fades into silence, the reality of the law doing what ego never could, shutting the whole thing down.
I'm sure we're going to be called back out here, and then we'll call the postal inspector and have them come and take care of it.
Okay. And again, one more thing, you guys.
Already have this info?
No, we've not.
You just want to give it? Do you want to provide us your information?
Am I obligated? Okay. So can I go back in there?
It's only fair since you got all our information.
You're public. You're a public servant. I'm private.
Back on Sunday.
He said I can go back in there. He said he's gonna leave.
I mean, that's right.
Damn, look at this dude.
That's like I said.
Wow, man, this. Boy, man, he wanted to make an arrest so bad. Wow.
And this is where reality finally lands. The sergeant effectively concedes that the cameraman is free to return inside once they leave, exposing that the earlier threats carried no legal weight at all. When the cameraman asks whether he's required to provide personal information, the answer is clear: he isn't. In that moment, everything shifts. The realization that he understands the law better than they do drains the energy from the encounter. The officer who was eager to make an arrest falls silent, visibly deflated and exposed. This is the outcome when intimidation meets education, because knowledge is power, and here it brings the entire display of misplaced authority to a complete stop.